Right. Good morning, students. So today's topic is right, classification of elements and periodicity in property. Right. See, as concerned need point of view, definitely you will get one question. Directly you will get one question from this topic. It is a small topic, but the basics related to this topic, you know, it is related to 2-3 topics in first P as well as in second P also. Okay, in that sense it is important. Right. So this year NEET exam, so we got one question directly from classification of element. Okay, now let's see what are the basic things in classification of elements. Right. You know, can you tell me there are how many elements in periodic table? 118. Right. So therefore in periodic table there are 118, means 118 elements are there. Then there are 118 elements. Is it possible to remember all the elements? Somehow you can remember, because you may have more than 100 friends, no? You can remember a friend's name or not? So family member names, like relative names, you can remember. The remembering names is okay, not a problem, you can. But can you remember each and every element, properties, physical, chemical property, preparation, everything individually? No. That is a difficult task. The remembering element, you can somehow you can remember, you can by heart it. But the remembering each and every element, properties, physical, chemical properties, preparation, uses, or its disadvantages, advantages, all these things are almost impossible. So therefore there is a requirement of one simple classification. If we have simple classification, you can remember these groups or these group of elements are having some property, like these class of elements having some property, some uses, like some disadvantages. You can prepare by some XYZ methods. So this way you can remember easily. So therefore there is a need of classification. So this is the main aim of classification. Right. Next, now let us come to elements. You know, there are 118 elements in periodic table. Right. The elements which are present after uranium. So uranium is a what? Element which has atomic number 92. You know it. The elements which are present after uranium called transuranic element. Right. In periodic table you can find you can observe very clearly the elements before uranium, the elements which are after uranium. The elements which are present after uranium called transuranic element, and most of the transuranic elements are what? Synthetic elements and radioactive elements. Right. Next we have classification. Right, this one point. There are 118 elements in periodic table. 118. There are 118 elements in periodic table, comma, the elements which are present after uranium called transuranic element. The elements which are present after uranium called transuranic element, which are synthetic and radioactive elements, which are synthetic, radioactive also. Okay. Next is we have classification. You know, classification of element. You understand what is the aim of classification? It is just easy to remember. That's it. Because there are 118 element. It is according to 2000 research work, but still many elements are added. But whatever the books it is given, we have to study same. Right, according to books it is 118, but it is more than 127 element. It is crossed more than 127. Now let us take 118 only. So we have 118 elements. So these 118 elements we have to study in simple way. We have to remember their properties, physical, chemical, preparation, uses, everything. So therefore there is a need of classification, right? Then there is a need of classification, but we have modern classification. You might have studied classification, modern periodic table. Then have we got directly modern classification? No. Before the modern periodic table there were many classifications were done, right? So each and every classification has some importance as well as disadvantage also, right? So therefore we need to study from the beginning. The first and beginning classification was given by Dauberner. So it is called Dauberner triad. So write down, first classification of element is Dauberner triad. Dauberner triad. So this Dauberner triad was given by scientist called whom? Dauberner. Okay. Can you tell me what Dauberner triad says? So yeah, Dauberner suggested that, or Dauberner classified the elements, 3 elements as a group. Dauberner classified 3 elements as a group and he gave the name called triad. And he suggested that the atomic mass of the middle element is a arithmetic mean of first and last element. Right? This is the statement. Therefore, how Dauberner classified? Dauberner classified the element, 3 elements as a group which are having similar property. And he suggested that atomic mass of the middle element is a arithmetic mean of first and last element. Okay, right done. Dauberner classified the 3 elements as a group. Dauberner classified the 3 elements as a group having similar property. Having similar properties, and he suggested that atomic mass of middle element atomic mass of middle element is what? Arithmetic mean of first and last element. So therefore the atomic mass of the middle element is a arithmetic mean of first and last element. Right. Here important is you need to remember what are the Dauberner triads. Okay, examples are important. Most of the time they ask question, which of the following is a Dauberner triad, which is not a Dauberner triad. Okay, so therefore examples only important. Example, better you take tabular column. So here is triads. Here you take atomic mass of middle element. Okay. Can you tell me what are the triads? First one is lithium, sodium, potassium. Okay. So what is the atomic mass of lithium? 7. Potassium 39. What is the arithmetic mean of this? 7 plus 39 by 2, 23. Yes or no? This is the first triad. It means its atomic mass is 23. Next, second triad. Second, it is an alkali metal. First group, no. Second group, calcium, strontium, barium. So what is the atomic mass of calcium? 40. Atomic mass of barium 137. Can you tell me? It is 40 plus 137 divided by 2, approximately 80.5. 88.5 will get. So therefore approximate atomic mass of this is 88.5. It is a second triad. Next, third one is chlorine, bromine, iodine, that is halogen. Can you tell me what is atomic mass of chlorine? 35.5. Iodine 127. Remember, it is 137, 127. Then what is the arithmetic mean of these two? It is a 35.5 plus 127 iodine by 2. Not, tell me, 81.25, because 5 is there now. It is a 0.5 is there. Therefore 81.25. Okay. Next, we have two more. Fourth one, phosphorus, arsenic, antimony Sb, sulfur, selenium, tellurium. These two are also triads. Therefore there are total 5 triads. Phosphorus, can you tell me atomic mass of phosphorus is 31. We know it. What is atomic mass of antimony? Remember, 120. It is 120. Then sulfur, we know it is 32. So tellurium, it is also 127 as like iodine. Atomic mass of iodine and tellurium is approximately same. Approximately, you can take 127 approximately. Therefore take arithmetic of these two. Arithmetic mean of 31 plus 70. Very good. 70.5. Next, 32 plus 127 by 2. Tell me. 78.5. So it is about triads. Right. See, as I told you, most of the time they do not ask questions. No, most of the time they ask questions only triads. Which of the following is a Doberer triad? If here lithium, sodium, potassium, instead of lithium, if I write sodium, potassium, rubidium, whether these are the triads? No. Triads is only this. Other than this, whatever it is given, it is not a triad. Doberer triad. There may be other triads, but it is a Doberer triads are only these 5. Okay. So it is about Doberer triad. Next, now what is the limitations of Doberer triad? There are 2 limitations. First limitation is what? Is it applicable for all the elements? No. So yes, it is applicable for only these 5 triads. It means Doberer triad has only limited application. It is not applicable for all elements. So first limitation is it is not applicable for, write down, it is not applicable for all elements. And the one more important demerit is Doberer triad could not explain the atomic masses of the transition triads. Like like these triads, we have transition triads also. You might have studied. Transition triads are, it is a iron, cobalt, nickel. It is a one triad. Now below iron, what is the element? Ruthenium, osmium, cobalt, rhodium, iridium. Next nickel, palladium, platinum. Okay, so therefore here this is a one triad. It is called transition triad. This is one more triad. It is also transition. There are 3 transition triads. Right? Periodic table contain 3 transition triads. But a Doberer triad could not explain the atomic mass of the middle element of transition triads. How? If you see the atomic mass of the iron, cobalt, nickel, they are having approximately 58. It is a 59 approximately. It is also 59 approximately. Then did you get 58 plus 59 by 2? Will you get 59?
58.4.
So it means exactly not. No, it means they are having three approximate same atomic mass. No. Atomic mass of these three elements approximately same. Right. So therefore, Dauberner triad could not explain the atomic mass of the what? Transition triads. This is one drawback. Right on. So Dauberner triad could not explain the atomic mass of transition triads. Okay, so these are the two demerits. Right, next classification is law of Newland octaves. Right done. Law of Newland octaves. Law of Newland octaves. Right here. Shall I write it? So it was proposed by, of course, Newland. Tell me, what is the concept of Newland octaves? So Newland has arranged the known elements in the increasing order of their atomic masses, right? So Newland has arranged the known elements in the increasing order of atomic masses, and he suggested that yeah, the physical and chemical properties of every eighth element is similar to first element. It means every eighth element has similar physical properties as well as chemical properties to that of first element. That's what it is called, octaves. And he has compared with even musical note also. If you see the musical note, it starts with sa. Sa, ri, ga, ma, pa, da, ni, sa. Therefore, the first word is sa and ends with sa. So every eighth, is first and eighth is similar. That's what it is also called musical note law. So musical note, because it is like similar to musical note, and hence it is called musical note law. Okay, right on. Newland arranged the known elements. Newland arranged the known elements. How? In the increasing order of their atomic mass. In the increasing order of their atomic mass, and he suggested that Newland arranged the known elements in the increasing order of atomic mass, and he suggested that suggested that physical and chemical properties of every eighth element physical and chemical properties of every eighth element is similar to first element. Right, it means so first and eighth element having similar physical and chemical properties. Okay, now let's see example. Lithium, it is element, atomic mass, element, right, atomic mass. Lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine. Right. After fluorine, what is the element come?
Neon.
neon, but neon was not discovered during this classification. That's what noble gases are not discovered during this classification. Don't write noble gases. Next, after fluorine, neon. Neon after neon, sodium. So here sodium. Next, magnesium, aluminium, silicon, phosphorus, sulfur, chlorine. After chlorine, argon is the element, but argon was not discovered. Therefore, after argon, potassium, calcium. That's it. This law is applicable to up to calcium element, 20th element. So therefore, tell me here atomic masses. You write atomic masses, approximate atomic masses. You should remember lithium 7, beryllium 9, boron 11, it is 12, 14, 16, very good, 19, 20, 23, 27, 29, 31, 32, 35.5. So it is a 39, it is 40, right. So okay. Right, so this is a Newland octaves. Tell me, in Newland octaves, let us take how the first and eighth element has similar property. Let us take lithium is the first element, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It means lithium and sodium having similar physical properties, physical as well as chemical properties, according to law of Newland octaves. Let us take carbon is the first element. If I take carbon is the first element, tell me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So therefore again carbon and silicon having similar properties like that. So you can take, right, you can take any first and eighth element having similar physical and chemical property. For example, take sodium, magnesium here. Tell me magnesium 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Magnesium and calcium having similar physical and chemical properties according to law of octaves. Okay, I repeat once again. Tell me what law of octaves says. Law of octaves was proposed by Newland. He proposed that he arranged the Newland arranged the known elements in the increasing order of their atomic masses, and he suggested that every eighth element has similar physical and chemical properties to that of first element. It means first and eighth element having similar physical and chemical properties. Right. Now this classification he compared with musical note. In musical note, how? So musical note start with sa, end with sa. Sa re ga ma pa da ni sa, sa sa. So like that it is just similar to musical note. Hence it is also called law of musical. What is it? Law of Newland octaves also called musical note. Law of musical note. Not what is it? Musical note, whatever it says. Okay. So therefore he compared with musical note, right? Now that's so. Then what are the drawbacks?
Up to 20.
Yeah. Drawbacks are important. The first drawback is this law is applicable for only up to element calcium. Right? It is not applicable. This law is not applicable beyond this calcium. It's up to calcium element only. Therefore, this law is applicable to applicable to what? 20 elements, that is calcium. So this law is applicable to only up to calcium element. Next, one more drawback is In this classification, is there any position for noble gases? There is no position for noble gases. Even the fluorine, after fluorine, neon has to come. After chlorine, argon has to come. But where is the neon argon? No. That means, so in this periodic table, there is no position for noble gases. Right? There is no position for noble gases. Okay, so these two are the drawbacks of law of Newland octaves. Next, third classification is Lothar-Meyer curves. Right on? Lothar-Meyer curves. Tell me. So what is the importance of Lothar-Meyer curves? Yeah, so it was given by Lothar and Meyer, right? So Lothar and Meyer plotted the graphs between physical properties like atomic volume or melting point, boiling point versus atomic mass. Tell me, Lothar and Meyer plotted the graph between what? They plotted the graph between physical properties. What are the physical properties? It may be atomic volume, it may be melting point, boiling point versus atomic mass. Okay, so therefore Lothar-Meyer plotted the graph between physical properties like atomic volume over our melting point over our boiling point versus atomic mass, not atomic number, atomic mass. Remember, important, it is atomic mass. Okay, it means you can imagine like this. Take the graph, right? On y-axis it is x-axis, on y-axis, so they have taken what? Atomic volumes. On x-axis they have taken atomic mass. Okay, then so Lothar-Meyer has plotted the graph between atomic volume versus atomic mass. Then what he observed, that is important. He observed, right on, he observed that similar physical and chemical properties elements, similar physical and chemical property elements occupy the similar positions. Okay, so therefore you don't have notes. Okay, right, listen. So Lothar-Meyer has plotted the graph between what? Atomic volume versus atomic mass. Then he observed that when he has plotted the graph between atomic volume versus atomic masses, then the elements which are having similar physical and chemical properties, they occupy the similar heights or similar positions. For example, you just imagine the elements like alkali metal, they are having all alkali metal, lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium, francium. All these elements having similar property, they occupy the similar heights like this. They comes like similar positions. Okay, some elements occupy some positions, some element occupies some middle positions. So what does it mean? These middle elements having some same property, these more elements having same property, these elements having same properties. It means by plotting the graph, he suggested that these are the group of elements having similar property, these are the group of elements having like similar property. Okay, so therefore, so Lothar and Meyer try to explain the classification based on what? These graphs. Then here important is, when he has plotted the graph between atomic volume versus atomic masses, he observed that alkali metals, can you tell me what are alkali? So yeah, alkali metals lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium. Francium was not discovered during that time. Okay, lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium are alkali metal. They are having high atomic volumes. We know that atomic volume of alkali metal is very high. So therefore, alkali metals having high atomic volumes, therefore they occupy the maxima of the curve. Yes. So therefore, maxima of curve is for what? Alkali metals. So why alkali metals? Because they are having high atomic volumes. Next, listen first. It is first point. Then what is second observation? Second observation is then alkali earth metal. So what are the alkali earth metal? Alkaline earth metal. Beryllium, magnesium, calcium, strontium, barium. So these are the alkali earth metal. So alkali earth metal occupy the they occupy the portions which are descending order of position. It means no, they are of course below the alkali metal, but in how they occupied in the descending portion, means down, decreasing, right? So therefore alkali earth metal occupy the portion where descending order comes. And next is halogens. What are the halogens? Fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine. So these are the halogens. They occupy the portions or positions which are ascending order. So these are where ascending order. It is a descending order. Next, next last one is transition elements. So transition elements occupy the minima of the curve. These are the important points observed by Lothar and Meyer. So you need to remember only these 4 points. Okay. Therefore, tell me, when Lothar Meyer plotted the graph between atomic volume versus atomic mass, so they observed that alkali metals having highest atomic volumes, therefore they occupy the maxima of the curve. Then which element occupy minima of the curve? Yes, transition elements occupy the minima of the curve. And they also observed that about alkali earth metal. Alkali earth metal like beryllium, magnesium, calcium, strontium, barium, they occupy the positions or portions where these element comes descending order. Similarly, halogens. So fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine, these are the element occupy or they comes in the ascending portion of the curve. So these are ascending portion, these are descending portion, maxima, minima. These points you should remember. Right on? I think you are written till here, no? Right. So Lothar Meyer plotted the graph between, I think read this, have written this point. He observed that, written? He observed that 1. Alkali metals, lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium. Alkali metals occupy the where? Maxima of the curve. Alkali metal occupy the maxima of the curve because they have high atomic volumes. Next, alkaline earth metals, beryllium, magnesium, calcium, strontium, barium. Alkaline earth metals, beryllium, magnesium, calcium, strontium, barium. Lies at the midpoints on the descending portion of the curve. Lies at the midpoint on the descending portion of the curve. Next, halogens. Next point, halogens, fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine. halogens, fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine, occupy the positions on ascending portion of the curve, before inert gas. On ascending portion of the curve, it should be before inert gas. Next, last one, transition elements before inert gas, noble gas. Next, transition elements occupy the minima of the curve. Okay, so based on this, they may ask question like this: which of the following statement is wrong, or which of the following statement is right regarding Lothar-Meyer curves? There are 4 points. No, which is wrong, which is right? They'll give the all 4, or sometimes anyone wrong they may give. For example, which of the following is or false statement regarding Lothar-Meyer curve? The first statement: alkali metals occupy the maximum of the curve. 2, transition elements occupy the minimum of the curve. 3, alkaline earth metal occupy the mid portion and the descending midpoint and the descending portion of the curve. And fourth one is transition elements occupy the minimum of the curve. That written already now. Written halogen occupy the positions which are descending portion. Which last one is wrong. So halogen comes ascending portion. No, halogen ascending portion, whereas alkali earth metal is descending. And one more important point is alkali earth metal comes midpoint, middle of the graph, midpoint of the graph in the descending portion. Like that, they'll give the any one wrong statement. You need to identify. This is only the important. Okay, other things are easy. Next is Mendeleev classification. So fourth classification of element is, so here onwards everything important. Mendeleev classification. Right, so Mendeleev has classified the element based on Mendeleev law. Tell me, what is the Mendeleev law?
Increasing order of the atomic masses.
Mendeleev has classified the element based on Mendeleev law. So Mendeleev law says that physical and chemical properties of elements are periodic functions of their atomic mass. Right? Physical and chemical properties of elements are periodic functions of their atomic mass. What is the meaning of this? The meaning of this statement is physical and chemical properties of elements are depends on their atomic masses. Is it true? No. So it is applicable to very few elements, like some extent. So physical and chemical properties of elements are not depends on their atomic mass, but he has classified in that way only. Okay. So therefore, the statement of Mendeleev's classification is, a law is, physical and chemical properties of elements are periodic functions of their atomic mass. Periodic functions of their atomic mass. It means physical and chemical properties of elements are depends on their atomic mass. This is a statement. Okay. Now, you listen first. Stop writing. Listen carefully. This is important. So previously questions also appeared. Now, based on that statement, Mendeleev has classified the element. So therefore, Mendeleev has classified the element or arranged the element. So known element, that is particularly 63 element. So Mendeleev has arranged the known 63 elements in the increasing order of their atomic mass. So therefore, Mendeleev has arranged the known 63 elements in increasing order of their what?
Atomic masses.
Yes, order of atomic mass. Okay, next point. So Mendeleev has arranged the known 63 element in the increasing order of their atomic mass, and moreover he has arranged the elements in the vertical column and horizontal row also. So therefore Mendeleev has arranged the elements in vertical column as well as horizontal rows. Okay, then he named as vertical columns are called groups, isn't it? So therefore then later he named vertical columns are groups and horizontal rows are called periods. Okay, that means Mendeleev first time in classification, Mendeleev has arranged the element in group as well as period. Right, next point. This Mendeleev periodic table has how many groups and how many periods?
9.
So yeah, tell me. Mendeleev periodic table has 9 groups, correct? It has 9 groups, that is 0 to 8. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 0 to 8, total how many groups? 9 groups. And Mendeleev periodic table also has period. How many periods? The same number of periods today we have. How many?
7.
7. 1 to 7. Right? Therefore, Mendeleev periodic table contain 9 groups, 7 period. Next, the Mendeleev periodic table not only it contain period and group, it also has transition triads. So this periodic table also containing transition triads, which is we have studied where in Daburnay triad. So therefore, it also contain 3 transition triads. What are those? Iron, cobalt, nickel, one triad. Next, iron, ruthenium, osmium, cobalt, rhodium, iridium, nickel, palladium, platinum. You should remember group wise. Therefore, here first transition triad is iron, cobalt, nickel, ruthenium, rhodium, palladium, osmium, iridium, platinum. So therefore, there are 3 transition triads also present wherein Mendeleev's classification. Okay. Next. So this is about Mendeleev classification. Next important is there are some important uses, in the sense advantages, and there are some drawbacks also. So therefore, let's see what are the important uses of this Mendeleev classification. The first important use is Mendeleev has foresight to leave some gaps in periodic table for elements which are not known. Means what? So yeah, in his classification he left some space, some gaps. He left some particularly 3 gaps. He left the 3 gaps for the unknown elements. Those elements were not discovered. He left the gap for 3 unknown elements which are not known. Moreover, he has given the names also. See, the element is not discovered, nobody knows, but he predicted element, there must be some element, and he has given the name. That is his foresight. So therefore, tell me, so what are the 3 elements he gave the name? Eka, Eka boron, Eka aluminium, Eka silicon. Correct. Eka silicon. So therefore, he has given the 3 names. He left the 3 gaps. That is Eka boron, Eka aluminium, Eka silicon. Then later these elements are discovered by some other people, not him. So discovered by some other scientists, and they gave the name Eka boron is a scandium. So today we are calling it is a SC, scandium. Next, Eka aluminium. It is a, nowadays we are calling gallium. Next, Eka silicon. It is germanium. This is the one importance of his classification. Next, second important. Tell me, what is the second important of Mendeleev classification? This was a previous question appeared in JEE. Second important is Mendeleev has corrected the atomic mass of three elements. See, how the Mendeleev arranged the element in the increasing order of atomic mass. When he has arranged the increasing order of atomic masses, he found that some elements were discovered previously, but they were not given proper atomic masses. That means Mendeleev has corrected the atomic mass of the three elements. So he has corrected the atomic masses of beryllium, indium and osmium. So atomic mass of these three elements he has corrected by the concept of equivalent mass and valency. Equivalent mass and valency. So based on equivalent mass and valency, he has corrected. How? Atomic mass, he has given the formula. Atomic mass is equals to, tell me. Very good. Equivalent mass into valency. Yes or no? So therefore, based on this formula, he has corrected what? Atomic mass of the how many elements? Three elements. These two are the important uses of Mendeleev classification. But there are many drawbacks. When you see drawbacks, there are many.
Argon and calcium.
Yeah, first drawback, tell me. First drawback is there proper position for hydrogen atom? In periodic table, even modern periodic table also has not proper position. Modern periodic table also not given a proper position for hydrogen element. So therefore, the same way, so it is also drawback of what? Mendeleev classification. Therefore, Mendeleev classification does not give the proper position to what? Hydrogen element. Okay, not only hydrogen element, so this classification did not give the proper position to even isotopes also.
Because he arranged it on the basis of
Yes, atomic masses. When he has arranged the basis of atomic masses, these isotopes having different atomic masses. So therefore, they comes in increasing atomic masses, right? But all the isotopes should be there in should belongs to one element, right? Like for example, hydrogen. Hydrogen is an element. Its isotopes are what? Protium, deuterium, tritium. Protium, deuterium, tritium. These three are the isotopes. But whether three isotopes should be there in different column or should be there in one column? One column only, because the element and its all isotopes should belongs to one box. That given by later Niels Bohr, that is modern periodic table. But here is all these isotopes are arranged in the increasing order of atomic masses. This was a drawback. So therefore, the first drawback is he did not give the proper position to hydrogen and isotopes. Next, second one. This Mendeleev classification does not give the proper position to even lanthanide actinides. Right? So he has not separated lanthanide actinides. So this is second drawback. So lanthanide actinides are not separated or not given proper positions. Next, third one. Tell me. So third one is now he has arranged the element according to increasing order of atomic mass. But yeah, in Mendeleev periodic table, there are some elements having more atomic mass come first and low atomic mass. Actually, it's not supposed to be. Why? This classification is purely based on atomic mass, no? So the element which has less atomic mass has to come first, more atomic mass later. This supposed to be the classification. This is a classification. But by unknowingly, in his classification, there are some elements having more atomic mass came first, then low atomic mass. So such elements are called invert pair or anomalous pair. Invert pair or anomalous pair. So what are invert pair? The elements which are having low atomic mass come first, then low atomic mass come, high atomic mass come first, then low atomic mass. For example, argon, potassium, best example. Tell me, argon is 40, 39. It's not supposed to come. 30 is more atomic mass, it has to come later now. But 30 come first, then potassium. 40 come first, 39. Like similarly, even cobalt, nickel. If you see cobalt is 59, and nickel is approximately 58. This 59 has to come later, 58 has to come before, but it is a reverse now. Okay, so this is called invert pair. Okay, therefore in Mendeleev could not explain why this is. He has given the atomic masses, but it could not explain. There is one drawback, right? So this is about what? Mendeleev classification. Okay, so do you understand? Write down. Write down. Mendeleev has arranged the known 63 elements. Mendeleev has arranged the known 63 elements in the increasing order of their atomic mass. Mendeleev has arranged the known 63 elements in the increasing order of their atomic mass. Next point. Mendeleev has arranged elements in vertical column. Mendeleev has arranged the elements in vertical column and horizontal rows. Mendeleev has arranged the elements in vertical columns and horizontal rows. Comma. Vertical columns are called groups. Vertical columns are called groups and horizontal rows are called what? Periods. Next point. There are 9 groups 0 to 8. There are 9 groups 0 to 8 and 7 periods. Next. 7 periods. Next. Mendeleev periodic table also contain 3 transition triads. Mendeleev periodic table also contain 3 transition triads. Take this: iron, cobalt, nickel, ruthenium, rhodium, palladium, osmium, iridium, platinum. Next, uses. Uses. Mendeleev has foresight. Mendeleev has foresight to leave the gaps in periodic table for unknown elements. Mendeleev has foresight to leave the gaps in periodic table for unknown elements. And he gave the names. What? Eka boron, Eka aluminium, Eka silicon. Important. And they are named as, and they are later named as scandium, gallium, germanium respectively. Scandium, gallium, germanium respectively. Next, it is also important. Second point. Second important use is, what is second use? Mendeleev has corrected the atomic masses. Mendeleev has corrected the atomic masses of beryllium, indium, osmium. Mendeleev has corrected the atomic masses of beryllium, indium, osmium based on equivalent mass and valency. Based on equivalent mass and valency. Write this relation. Equivalent atomic mass equal to equivalent mass into valency. Okay, so these two are the uses. Next, right, drawbacks. Right, there is no proper position. There is no proper position given to. There is no proper position is given to what? Hydrogen element and isotopes in his periodic table. There is no proper position is given to hydrogen element and isotopes. Next, lanthanides, actinides are not placed in proper position. Lanthanide actinides are not placed in proper position. And one more is noble gas also. No, in this periodic table there is no position for noble gases. It means even though noble gases are discovered before his classification, but in his classification he did not give the positions. Right. So therefore, noble gases are not placed in a proper position. Noble gases are not placed in a proper positions. Next, right, the elements. Next point, the elements which is come first. The element which is come first has less atomic mass. The elements which is come first has less atomic mass than what? The next, no? Then next element. The element which come later. The element which is come first has less atomic mass than the later element. Such pairs are called invert pair.
First element has more atomic mass than later element, then it become invert pair, sir.
What are you doing? The element which is come first has
As less you
no, not less. Okay, sorry, change it. The element which is come first has more atomic mass than later. Such elements are called invert pairs. Take example: argon, potassium, cobalt, nickel. Even can take tellurium, iodine. Tellurium is 127.6, iodine 127, thorium 231. So these are the example for invert pairs. Next is atomic number. So after Mendeleev's classification, atomic number was discovered. Okay. The next, after atomic number discovered, then the classification is changed again. Okay. Now let's say atomic number. What is atomic number? Who discovered? So this atomic number was discovered by Moseley. So therefore, it is discovered by of course Moseley. Scientist called Moseley. Now listen, here important, interesting is how he has discovered. That is important. Yes. Now what he has done is he took the element. Okay. It is element. Okay. Then so he bombarded the element with cathode rays. Okay. Nothing but electron. High speed electron cathode rays. Therefore, so here Moseley bombarded the element with high speed cathode rays or nothing but electron, and it produces characteristic characteristic frequencies of what? X-ray. So these are all X-ray, and he gave a mathematical expression between frequencies of X-ray and atomic number. Therefore, yes, so there root nu is equals to A into Z minus B. So this is the mathematical expression given by Moseley, where nu is equals to what? It is a frequency of, yes, frequency of X-ray. These things I taught in basic. Next, where Z is equals to atomic number, where A and B are of course constant. They are depends on element. They depends on a given element. Okay, so this is a Moseley's equation. Next, so later Moseley has plotted the graph also. So he plotted the graph between root nu is equals to A into Z minus B, no? So he plotted the graph between root nu versus Z minus B. So this is on X axis, this is on, no, this is on Y axis, this is on X axis. Therefore, you know, Y is equals to, yes, mx plus c, linear equation, no? Then when you plot the graph between Y is what? Root nu versus atomic number is A minus Z minus B. Z minus B. Then tell me. So where what is the no, C is a 0 because C is 0, no. Therefore, when C equal to 0, graph should pass through the origin. Okay, straight line, which gives a straight line pass through the origin. Then here important is slope. Tell me what is the slope? Slope equal to A. Right. So modern periodic table. So this modern periodic table was constructed by Niels Bohr. It is constructed by Niels Bohr. So this modern periodic table was constructed by Niels Bohr, and moreover the construction of modern periodic table based on periodic law. Okay, both based on modern periodic law. What modern periodic law says? What is the Mendeleev periodic law? Mendeleev periodic law says that physical and chemical properties of elements are periodic functions of atomic mass. It is a atomic number or electronic configuration. So therefore, it says that physical and chemical properties of elements are, physical and chemical properties of elements. Physical and chemical properties of elements are periodic functions are periodic functions of what? Atomic number or electronic configurations. So what is the meaning of this statement? It says that physical and chemical properties of each and every element depends on what? Its atomic number or electronic configuration, but not atomic mass. This was a drawback of what? Mendeleev. But Mendeleev says that physical chemical properties depends on what? Atomic mass. That is not exactly correct. So this is exactly correct. Physical and chemical properties of each and every element depends on its atomic number, which is nothing but electronic configuration. So atomic number related to electronic configuration. So this is the modern periodic law. Okay. Now based on this modern periodic law, Mendeleev, who constructed? Niels Bohr. Okay. And moreover, this modern periodic table, no, it is nothing but it is a representation of nothing but Aufbau principle. The construction of this modern periodic table is based on nothing but Aufbau principle or n plus L rule only. We will get what is n plus L rule later. So therefore, the whatever we are going to study, this whole periodic table is based on Aufbau principle, or it is nothing but what? N plus L rule. Right? That was first. So modern periodic table is a representation of okay. Next, now tell me, modern periodic table contain how many periods and how many groups?
18.
In modern periodic table, elements are arranged in groups and period, no? So elements are arranged in a groups and period. There are how many? 18 groups. How many periods? Right, next one, right? So elements are arranged in groups and period. Elements are arranged in a groups and periods. Next point, there are how many groups and how many periods?
18 groups and 7 periods.
Yes, there are 18 groups, no, that is 1 to 18. And how many periods?
7 periods.
There are 7 periods, that is 1 to 7. Okay, now let us study about periods and groups in detail. Okay, next, right? Periods. So modern periodic table contains 7 periods. So take the tabular column. In first column take serial number. Second column is period. Third column is starting element. Next is ending element. Next is number of elements. Next is name of the period. Okay, we'll get all the information here only. Just remember the tabular column. Right, serial number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Period number also take first period, second period, third period, fourth, fifth, sixth and seventh periods. Tell me, what is the starting element in first period? Do you know first period start with hydrogen? No. So remember whatever it is, first or second period, all the periods starting with first group. All the periods start with first group. No. What are the first group element? Hydrogen, lithium, sodium, rubidium, cesium, francium. It means first, the starting element in first period is hydrogen, right? Next, second period, lithium. Next, beryllium, boron, lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium. This is francium. Starting elements. So here, first period start with hydrogen, ends with helium, He. Next is neon. Next is argon, krypton. Next xenon. Next is radon. Next is there any element? No. That means seventh period start with the francium, but there is no ending element. Still research is going on. Seventh period. You research ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. Next, number of elements. Tell me, there are how many elements? Hydrogen, helium. Only two elements. There are only two elements in first period. How many elements in second period? 8. Next, 8. 18. 32. Not. So this is a incomplete. Okay, so remember this is magic number. We'll discuss about later. 2, 8, 8, 18, 18, 32. These numbers called magic number. We can do magic also later. You just remember order. Fine. Next, name of the periods. So first period has only two elements. Its name is shortest period, because there are only two elements. Second period has 8 elements, and third also they are called short period. Shortest, short. Next is 18, 18. They are called long period.
Longest period, incomplete period.
Yes, this is a longest. Next is incomplete. Okay, so this is about periods. Okay, so remember the tabular column, important. Next is about groups. So as we know that modern periodic table contain, there are how many? 18 groups, right? So according to new classification, IUPAC classification, we use the numbers only. It is 1, 2, 3, 4 to 18. According to IUPAC classification, new classification. Earlier we used to use A, B, first A, first B, second A, second B also. That all I will explain. Take first this. Okay. So there are 18 groups, 1 to 18. Okay. You just remember the group 1 and 2. So these are the S block. Why they are called S block, we will discuss later. Yeah. Next. And third group to 12th group, they are D block, not transition, D block only. I will tell you difference later. Next, 13 to
P block 18.
13 to 18.
P block element.
They are
P block element.
P block.
Below the periodic table F block element.
Then what is left? 1, 2, 3, 12, 13, 18.
Below periodic table.
Then where come F block element? So we have lanthanides and actinides. Lanthanides and actinides. They are F block. F block. But they belongs to which group? This is question.
First block.
So no, block is F block, all right. But lanthan, there is no group, no. So see, S over P over D over. So S is a 1 to 2, 3 to 12, 13 to 18.
In D
Group
block.
mugitala.
Sir.
There is no more group. Where is the group? 1 to 18 mugit.
Below.
We want lanthanide actinide. So question is lanthanide actinide belongs to, of course, they are F block. I want which group? There is no group left now. Really barutte.
In the four.
Don't understand my question.
Sir, it's in 4.
Anybody? So your half of the question is right. Okay. But my question is, I'm asking group.
Fifth.
Not.
Fifth, sir.
They are belongs to
Third.
third group. In fact, 3 to 12 D block.
But then
3 to 12 is D block. But particularly in third group only, F block comes. Do you remember? We'll discuss later. Now just listen 1-2 points. In third group, the elements are scandium, yttrium, lanthanum, actinum. These are the elements, no? Yeah. So scandium, yttrium, lanthanum, actinum, these are the third group elements. So scandium is a separate element, yttrium is also separate element. Then you see lanthanum. This lanthanum box is there, no? This lanthanum box, in this box we think that there is only one element, lanthanum. But there is a lanthanum, but from, tell me. All the lanthanides 14 group present here only, that is cerium to lutetium. There are element cerium, Ce, it is a 58 to lutetium 71. All these 14 elements, you know, they are present in this box only. Right. Then now question is, why they have placed one same box? Simple reason. They are having same properties. This classification is made based on properties, no? So all these 14 elements having similar properties to that of lanthanum. That's what they are placed after lanthanum. But you may have doubt, they could have placed after lanthanum some other box can be made, no? Not. But why they have placed only that box? That is still, yes, that is actually drawback of modern periodic table. But no more periodic table is now constructed. Adukku advanced are madilla. But we are studying as a drawback. All right. Let it be drawback, but we are understanding, no. In this box only there are all the 14 elements. So these 14 elements belongs to third group.
So then lanthanide and actinide belongs to F block or D block?
Yeah, I'll come that only. Next is similarly actinum. After actinum, there should be some other element, no? But after actinum, the elements which is come 14 elements, they are all actinide. So that is a thorium to lawrencium. All there are 14 elements. All 14 elements belongs to what? Actinum. Actinum box only. They are placed in actinum box. But you know, all 14 elements, writing in 14 elements in box, is it possible? No, it's not good, and it is not visible, and it's again confusion, no? That's what they have written below the periodic table. Yeah, now your question. Now question is, they are belongs to third group. Since they are third group, they should be a D block. But we are calling what? F block. What is the controversy? So here controversy is, they supposed to be D block because they are present in third group. they are supposed to be d block, but they are not d block. The reason is, in all these elements, the differentiating electron does not enter into d orbital. The differentiating electron enters into f orbital. Except these elements, remaining all elements, differentiating electron enters into d block. That is d orbital. But only here is differentiating means last electron, last incoming electron enters into f orbital, that is f block. Okay, this is the difference. So we'll continue tomorrow.